English languages, and here we are talking about planning for the family, budgetary, when it's time to allocate budget, to budget for activities in the family, for programs in the family. How do you go about it? I have someone who is a father in this capacity who will be doing justice to this topic. He is Mr. Sheriff Adekoya. You're welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
And compliments of the season.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you.
Yeah,
so nice to see you once again.
Same
How
here.
is everyone at home?
Yeah, they are fine. They are still managing me.
Well, I'll say to God be all the glory, because He is the giver of life.
Definitely.
Okay, we're looking at planning the family budget. We want to break it down. Let's do a breakdown. First, the sect called family.
Yeah.
How will you describe it before we'll venture to budgeting?
Well, the concept family, the concept called family is a universally popular term, and it has more or less like scripted and globally accepted definitions.
Okay.
You know, nuclear, extended, and all of that. But it carries very strong elements of relativity.
Mm-hmm.
So what you call family in UK is different from what I call family in Lagos. It's different from what people see as family in the north. It is not that one is better. It is just a function of who we are culturally. You know, if you live outside this country, especially in the Western world, you dare not just walk up to people freely. Everything is systemic, organized. But in Nigeria, you may go to work in the morning and you return in the evening, and there are 2, 3, 4, 5 siblings and cousins and your grandmother's nephew waiting for you. So that defines how family is understood and appreciated. But yes, in this context of this narrative, family is basically the father, the mother, the dependents, most times the children under the same roof.
Okay. So, all right. You just gave us the family. And culturally, you know, it differs.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, budgeting now. Where we have the mother, where we have the father, and we have their dependents, regardless of either is their immediate nuclear family or, you know, the extended African family. It is important, either we like it or not.
Definitely.
Cultural, yes.
It is.
So when it comes to budgeting, what should the parents now put into consideration or prioritize for a budget that will speak to the need of every dependent?
Well, thank you. I think you already nailed it when you say budgeting. Budgeting is not a blanket term. So we probably may be on the same salary scale.
Okay.
But what matters to me may be different from what matters to you. And that will always play a critical role in what I take serious and what I budget for. So it's a function of cultural, personality, and mindset thing. In some families, education, of course, that is gaining popularity right now. So education stands in the forefront. Within that semi-context, how you approach education in respect to others differs. In some instances, go to school. So going to school, getting education is virtually the same thing, just your regular thing. But in some families, that is the lifeblood. They would rather cut back on several other things and give education extreme priority. And how some people appreciate or define education is different. So they would rather say, go to a mid-level school, live in a very comfortable environment. That would play on the budget. Some would say, I'll live wherever I can afford. I cannot stay in a place where my 2 months salary cannot pay my annual rent. That was why I said mindset.
Yeah.
Some people don't care. Because of what they want, they go all out, shrink every penny within the budget. And again, the personality, the definition of the person, the aspiration of the person then comes in to now say how you define your budget. Okay, you see, when we were learning economics back then, there are three motives for money: transactional, speculatory, and precautionary. Transactional is what you set aside from your salary for your day-to-day. Precautionary is what you have somewhere for the unexpected. You can't return from work and say, and you hear your daughter or your son has a broken arm or something. You say, okay, wait until next salary. You can't wait. You can't get home today and your generator is not functioning. And you say, okay, you go home and the bulb is out. So precautional, no matter how minute or severe or serious they are. Then speculatory. That is the part of your funding or income that you set aside for possibilities of regenerating wealth. That has been further expanded. Now we now have 4: transactional, precautional, speculatory, and investment motive. So if you earn 100,000, by the dynamics of the mindset you want to undertake and the personality, it will let us know if you'll be doing 40, 20, 20, 10, or 50. So budgeting, you probably will stay in the same block of flats, earn the same thing, and how you set out life will definitely be different. Your personality. So that's why I said budgeting and planning, it's a critical thing. It is not what happens when or after you've made money. It is something that has been woven into your person. If you know and you understand and you live a subtle, quiet life, your budgeting would follow the pattern of your personality.
Yes.
If you are, the outgoing person, your budget would follow that. And you really can't eat your cake and have it.
Okay. You can't eat your cake and have it.
No, you can't.
But let's look at the disadvantages of not. Yes, you have a budget. When you take a look at a contemporary family in today's world, many do budgeting. But midway, one party defaults. In such situations, how should it be properly handled? That's one. And then in situations where we have comparison, okay, my friend is into this, you rightly, clearly, you identify the different families and their needs and how money should be channeled. But yet, the nature of some individuals will still feel their counterpart is better and they need to do what their, fellow, maybe colleague or neighbor is venturing. How should such be handled?
Okay, so there are two questions in one.
Yes,
if I did
two.
Got you right. So the first is when there is default.
Yes.
How do you address that or handle it? Well, before now, when the dynamics of the economy was a bit relaxed, the African setting, the Western Nigerian setting has it that most women are either full housewives, petty traders not so detached from homes, or civil servants. But that narrative has changed. In some homes, the wife earns at par or even better. So the dynamics, and that's where it's a complex conversation. That's where the modern masculinity then comes in. So then we talk about it on this. So now, I earn 100,000, and here's my wife who earns 100,000. And that's 200. So we've agreed to certain things that we need to do. So default will always happen if the background is not. Default
will always happen.
Yes. If the background is not factored into it. If my wife is a very super religious person, or I am culturally very family oriented, there will always be default. If anything happens to these extended functionaries, you go to church today, you attend a salat, and it says we need to change our amplifier. And your wife is a core member of the budget that you have set aside, decides to say, okay, I can accommodate additional 10K now. If you put 10K from your 200,000 naira family income, there will always be, unless there's a plan for that. And 10K is not a small part of 200,000. That's a whopping 5%.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So, or the guy does the same thing. Maybe a call from your cousin, uncle, sister, step brother. Say they need this, they just swallowed shovel and all of that. So default will always happen. And that's exactly why we need to understand flexibility. Now, this default may not even be human-induced, just like we have in Nigeria. Nigeria is going through a period, a transitioning period where the economic balance is just readjusting. 2024 was not that pleasant. Do you understand? So the government is doing a lot to put things in place. A lot of things are happening, but we are not there yet where you can say, this is what I would do. So a lot of things are coming. Petrol is going up, this is coming down. You have your plan set, and petrol is 1.1. Now it's 9 something. So a lot of things will happen. So that's why whatever budget you are putting in place, flexibility is critical. So it may not be human induced, it may not be relative or religious or whatever. It is maybe systemic induced. So that's one. Then two, the other question.
The comparison.
We need to understand that, like I said earlier, you probably may be the same person. And that's why in marketing, in brand communications, and so many other things that has to do with humans, you do not concentrate on demography alone. Cohort is defined on the surface by demography, but deeper understanding is done by kernel analysis, and you distill the psychography. We probably may be of the same age, earn the same amount, but psychologically and socially, where is my mindset? You probably may be that person who is simple. Once they give you fabric of 2,000, you are fine. And 5 yards of that is 10,000. And I probably may be the guy who says, I can't wear that. Whatever I need to wear starts from 20,000 per yard. True. So if we eat into our same budget, obviously, certainly, our bottom line will be affected differently. So you do not live by comparison. If you live by comparison, definitely you will run into issues. We earn the same thing, but you do not live. That's why if there's this street lingo that says, if you do not earn like them, do not spend like them.
Don't spend like them. Oda, mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ ní ọwọ́ yín. Àwọn ohun tí à ń gbé yẹ̀wò ní èdè àbínibí ni ètò ìṣúná nínú ẹbí. Báwo ni a ṣe ń ṣe? Ǹjẹ́ ó tiẹ̀ pọn dandan kí a ṣe àwọn ètò yẹn nínú ẹbí? Tí a bá wá ṣe, tó bá dàbí ẹni pé gbọ́n mi sí omi òtó kan fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀, báwo la ṣe lè yanjú ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórí ẹbí? Nítorí pé bá a fẹ́ bá a kọ̀, olórí ẹbí wà. Mo kí káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ní èdè àbínibí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Sheriff Adekoya. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò wa.
Ẹ ṣé olóòtú.
Ṣé àlàáfíà ni gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ bí ẹnìkejì mi ṣe á ní ṣé àlà ni? Ṣé àlà ni?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, àlà ni.
Adúpẹ́. Okay. À ń wo ètò ìṣúná nínú ẹbí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ wò báyìí. Kí ni ẹbí? Ẹ kọ́kọ́ bá wa ṣe ní ṣókí. Kí ni àwọn ẹ̀yà wo ni à ń pè ní ẹbí?
Tí a bá ní ká yànnàná ìsọ̀rí àti kókó ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń jẹ́ ẹbí, kò kí ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ tá lè ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú alàgbò gbólóhùn àbí atọ́ka. Kí ni tí mò ń sọ ni pé bó ṣe rí nílà oòrùn bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ló rí níwọ̀ oòrùn. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹbí ṣe rí lọ́dọ̀ tí wá ń bí, ó yàtọ̀ sí bí ẹbí ṣe rí lókè òkun. Lórílẹ̀-èdè wa níwọ̀ gúúsù ìlà oòrùn kankan, bí ẹbí ṣe rí ó tún yàtọ̀. Láàárín àwa tájọ wà ní agbègbè yìí pàápàá, bí àwọn alákọ̀wé ṣe rí ẹbí yàtọ̀ sí bí àwọn oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́ ṣe rí ẹbí. So tó ń túmọ̀ sí pé ẹbí ni orígun èyí tí ó ṣe àkóso sábẹ́ òrùlé kan lábẹ́ àkóso bàbá, ìyá àti àwọn tó rọ̀gbà yí wọn ká pàápàá jùlọ àwọn ọmọ torí ńgbà míì a máa yàtọ̀ sọ́mọ nìkan tó rọ̀gbà yí wọn ká tó dẹ̀ ń fẹ̀mí sí ọ̀dọ̀ wọn.
ó dà àwa ń wo ètò ìṣúná nínú àwọn tí ẹ kà sílẹ̀ yìí ń sẹ́yìn kí ni ètò ìṣúná ní í ṣe ní ìgbésí ayé orí kọ̀ọ̀kan àti pé kí ni àǹfààní tí wọ́n máa jẹ tí wọ́n bá ṣe bó ṣe tọ́ àti bó ṣe yẹ.
ètò ìṣúná jẹ́ okùn ẹ̀mí fún ẹbí táwọn olóyìnbó ń pè ní life wire nítorí ẹni tí ò bá ṣe ètò ìṣúná kódà kó pa owó tó ju tẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀ lọ nílọ́po mẹ́wàá tí ò bá fi àwọn àgbàlagbà ní ọgbọ́n la fi ń kó owó jọ làákàyè la fi ń ná tí wọ́n bá ṣe balabala èèyàn lè má rí léde sí tó ń túmọ̀ sí pé ètò ìṣúná gangan òun ni okùn ẹ̀mí ẹbí nítorí téèyàn bá fọwọ́ ṣe tó fọwọ́ wà kò gbọ́dọ̀ tú díẹ̀díẹ̀ tó ń mọ́ tó ń wo so ó túmọ̀ sí pé téèyàn bá kó jọ èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ yànnàná bó ṣe fẹ́ ná torí tí ò bá yànnàná ẹ̀ á máa dàrú gẹ́gẹ́ bí àpẹẹrẹ téèyàn bá gba ọgọ́rùn-ún náírà ní 1,000 naira tí kò bá wá yànnàná ẹ̀ pé eléyìí o owó ilé làyàn sọ́tọ̀ eléyìí owó òwe o eléyìí owó kíní kan tó kàn kó sójú kan tó ń ná kóṣù tó dá méjì owó àtọ́nbi tó ti tọ́ nítorí pé nọ́mi lówó máa ń sọ àṣekúndẹ̀ lówó so béèyàn bá wá mọ̀ tí ò bá wá fi ètò sí àwọn orígun kan wà tí kò ní fọkàn sí tó yìí máa yọ àìbá àmọ́ máa ń yọ àìbá àmọ́ máa ń so ó túmọ̀ sí pé téèyàn bá ti ṣètò ẹ̀ ètò yẹn ló máa padà wá ṣèyàn.
So ó ṣe pàtàkì ká ṣe ètò ìṣúná.
ó ṣe pàtàkì tá a bá tiẹ̀ kọ́ sílẹ̀ ká ní lọ́kàn nígbà tó bá ti ní ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ọgọ́rùn-ún owó ó ti mọ̀ wípé lọ́sù yìí o 150 la fẹ́ fi jẹun o eléyìí la máa sọ́tọ̀ fowó náà o eléyìí ni a fẹ́ fi sanwó òwe o wà á ti mọ̀ lọ́kàn wà á dẹ̀ máa fi làákàyè bára ẹ lọ bó ṣe ná tá a bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ á mẹ́rẹ̀ níbì kan.
kó má bàa mẹ́rẹ̀ níbì kan yẹn ètò ìṣúná nínú ẹbí ó ṣe pàtàkì.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
kí ni àwọn ohun àǹfààní tí ẹbí àti orílẹ̀-èdè máa jẹ tí wọ́n bá ṣe ètò ìṣúná bó ṣe yẹ tí wọ́n dẹ̀ tẹ̀lé bó ṣe yẹ.
ṣé mọ̀ pé kò sí ní tó ń jẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè tí kò bá sí
ẹbí
agbègbè ìletò kò dẹ̀ sí ní tó ń jẹ́ ìletò tí ò bá sẹ́bí tẹ́bí bá ti tú ìletò àtú orílẹ̀-èdè àtú báwo la ṣe wá lè ṣe tẹ́bí òfin ní tú ni pé ètò ìṣúná ẹbí ó gbọ́dọ̀ múnádóko gẹ́gẹ́ bágbára ti mọ.
gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbára ti mọ.
ṣé bí o ti mọ ẹlẹ́wà àṣàpọ̀n táwọn aráalé yín tó ń gbé ní ilé kejì yín tó bá ń fi ẹyin dín dòdò láàárọ̀ tọ́lọ́run bá kádàrá pé múnú kún ni tiyín torí ẹni tí ò lọ ò lè dé o ẹni tó bá ní pé ẹgbẹ́ mi fò máa fò tí ò bá dán tán akán lẹ́sẹ̀ kó ní kálukú tó bá gbára ṣètò torí tá bá tó bá gbára ṣètò lákárí ọmọ lákárí ilé la fi máa de èèyàn torí ẹbí tí ò bá létò ìṣúná àwọn ọmọ ẹbí náà máa dánmọ lọ́mọ nígbà tẹ́ bá ti náwó tán lọ́jọ́ kẹwàá oṣù báwo lẹ ṣe fẹ́ gbé ìgbésí ayé ogúnjọ́ tó kù ní oṣù àwàdìpọ̀ ọmọ nàjú síta ọmọ tó bá ti nàjú síta títa bá kọ wálé gbogbo ọmọ títa kọ́kọ́ ló ń kọ́ padà sílé ìmí ń di gọ̀fẹ́ sí gbòòrò ni ọmọ tó bá lè di gọ̀fẹ́ kò lè mú àlàáfíà bá ìlú ọmọ náà dẹ̀ ní wúlò fún orílẹ̀-èdè.
ẹ ṣeun alàgbà Sheriff Adekoya.
àti ìdàlàgbà Sheriff Adekoya ọ̀dọ́ làwà. ọ̀dọ́langba.
ọ̀dọ́langba. a dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ ní ọwọ́ yín o fún àwọn bí ẹ ṣe yànnàná àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn gbogbo àná láti gbọ́ wọ́n ní pé wọ́n ní kí ẹbí kẹ́bí kóra jọ kẹ́bí kóra pọ̀ ká ṣe ètò ìṣúná gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbára ti mọ ni fi alábàágbé ẹ sílẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ alábàágbé ẹ ò kàn ẹ́ o nítorí pé ọ̀nà tí alábàágbé ẹ tó ń gbà rí owó àti èròǹgbà tiẹ̀ nípa ilé àti ọ̀nà ẹ̀ ó yàtọ̀ sí tiẹ̀ fi tiẹ̀ ṣe tiẹ̀ o. I want to really appreciate you for this moment. We're looking at planning the family and the budget.
Yeah.
You have said so much, but before I will allow you go, the year is just beginning and a lot of people have come up with different resolutions. How, in your own opinion, should everyone resolve to achieve their dreams in this year 2025? Today it is new. It's like every other day.
Definitely.
It is new today, but before you know what is happening, it's coming to its end. So what will be your advice?
Well, it's simple, pretty simple. We do not need to complicate things. All we need to do, it's the new year. All you need to do right now is forget about the long list resolution. Just try as much as possible to be better than your yesterday. That's 1. 2, you need discipline. A lot of resolutions will never get out of the papers where they are scripted if you do not have that discipline. So discipline, and like we said earlier, steer clear of what others are doing. If you do not have clarity, steer clear. We know what the economy is. This is the time for you to go inward and be very critically creative. This is not where you think, oh, I have a standard. My standard is that I have to change my phone every 6 months. If it's not broken, why change it? So these are few things we need to put on the table, and we need to be tactically selective in what we do, everything that we do now. You want to give harms, be tactically selective. People are suffering, but you cannot solve everybody's problem. Otherwise, you end up joining the list. So you need to be tactically selective. You need to be disciplined. I say that again, and I can't say that enough. And again, let's look inward and see how much productive we can get.
Okay, we have to look inward. All right, this is a time to promote your ingenuity. It's not a time to compare. What's your business with your neighbor's lifestyle? Face where you're going, and I tell you, your vision will one day come to fruition, and it will, you know, surprise you how far you can go. I wish you once again a happy year 2025. Be your best, be disciplined, as he has said. And indeed, when the year will end, you will have so many to, you know, relate to. I'm Anita Buhari. See you next week. Bye for now.